Wagwan everybody, welcome back to Tamara Recipes. In today's video, I am going to prepare some fire roasted fish stuffed with callaloo. So if that is something that you're interested in, please stick around and let's get right into the video, guys. So I have my fresh callaloo here. Now I washed it and cleaned it up and then I cut it in some small pieces. I have some scallion, scotch bonnet pepper, tomato, garlic, pimento seed, sweet pepper. I have thyme, I have onion, and I have carrots. Alright, so you can add any seasoning of your choice. So now I'm gonna add some coconut oil into the pot. So when the oil becomes heated, I'm going to add my seasoning. Now I'm gonna add everybody into the pot at once, and then I'm going to, mix everybody together, so that I can get some flavors out of them. Alright, so for this recipe, you don't want your vegetables to be too soft, even though for this one, I don't want it to be as crunchy as my other stuffed fish recipe, right? But just cook your vegetables to your preference. As I said before, it can be crunchy and it can be soft. Alright, but don't let it be too soft, because remember, it's gonna go in the fish, so when it goes in the oven, it's gonna become softer. Alright, so I sauteed my vegetables for maybe about 2 minutes. Now I'm adding the callaloo. Now if you don't have the fresh callaloo, I've never prepared any other callaloo, so I don't really know that the part there go. Well, if you can get the canned callaloo, guys, and not the fresh, just prepare it the way you normally prepare it, because I don't have experience with it. I don't even know how it tastes. I'm assuming that it tastes the same way as a fresh callaloo, but I can't really say how it's supposed to be prepared. So we want to mix all our seasoning with the callaloo just for it to have that nice flavor. And guys, it's fish, so you want to add as much scotch bonnet pepper to your taste, because you want your fish to have that nice peppery flavor, but not too spicy where you can't eat it, especially if you're a person who don't like pepper. Alright, so I'm gonna add some black pepper to mine, which is optional. No, I'm not gonna add a lot, maybe about 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. And I am going to add some all-purpose seasoning. Now I'm using the Grace all-purpose seasoning. You can use any brand all-purpose seasoning of your choice. Now I'm gonna add the all-purpose seasoning to my taste, and I'm not gonna add any salt. So if you like, you could add some salt, because I'm gonna add some butter, so the butter is salty, so I didn't bother to add any salt. Alright, and the butter is optional, of course. So if you don't want to add the butter, then just leave it out. So at this point, the callaloo is almost done. So when it comes down, when I finish mixing the butter and it's all melted, I'm gonna add my okras. Now I could have added my okra, like, when I was sauteing the vegetables, but the okra cooks too fast and I want it to be crunchy for the recipe, so I'm gonna add it last. So you can cut your okra to the size that you like. Alright, so I didn't want mine to be big in the fish, so I just slice them, small. Well, not really so small, but it's not so big. Alright, so just do it to your liking, of course. And I used 3 okras. Now you can use more or you can use less, but I'm gonna add some seasoning on the okras because I want them to have that nice flavor. So I'm adding some more all-purpose seasoning, and I'm gonna add some black pepper. Alright, so I'm mostly adding it on the okra itself because I want it to be flavorful. So at this point, the callaloo is practically finished steaming. However, I'm gonna allow the okras to cook for about a minute, and then I'm going to put out the flame. As I said before, you don't want your callaloo to steam to the point where it's too soft, because you're gonna stuff it in the fish and then it's going to go in the oven. Alright, so callaloo is all done. I'm gonna allow it to cool down because I don't want to add the hot callaloo into the fish. Alright, so at this point, you want to preheat your oven. All details and ingredients will be listed in the description box. So if you want to try the recipe, remember to check the description box for all ingredients and oven temperature and so on. Now while my callaloo is cooling down, I'm gonna prep my fish. Alright, so I have 2 foils because my fish is very big. It's a snapper fish and it weighs 2 pounds, so I have to have that big foil. Now because I want to ensure that when it's baking all that juice don't run out, or most of the juice don't run out, then I'm going to use double layer of the foil. Then I'm going to generously add the butter. Alright, butter make everything better. So if you don't have to add the butter, you don't have to. Alright, so now I have my nicely washed snapper fish. Now if you like, you could always cut some make some slits into your fish and add some seasoning in there as well, but for me I didn't want to, so I didn't bother. Alright, so I'm gonna generously add the butter on top of the fish and inside of the fish, but the underside where I greased the foil already, I'm not gonna add too much butter. Yes guys, so I have a mixture of seasoning here, but I'm not going to rub the seasoning into the fish. I'm gonna pat it, you know, because you remember we added the butter already, so you can't really rub the fish. Alright, because all that seasoning and butter gonna go off on your hand. So I'm gonna turn over the fish, apply a little bit of butter, and then I put some seasoning on there. Guys, me not lie, this part of the worst part for me, because guess what, the butter was so soft and it was sticking to my fingers. It was that was the worst part, but otherwise me enjoy my fish and my belly full. Alright, so I'm finished applying the butter and the seasoning on the fish. You could also add your seasoning and then you add your butter, or you can mix the butter and the seasoning and make it into a paste and then you apply it on your fish. So there are so many ways in which you could have done this part. Alright, so I'm finished applying the butter, the seasoning, so I'm going to add my callaloo. But as I said before, you have to ensure that your callaloo cool down. Alright, don't put a hot callaloo in your steamed fish. So sometimes I put like some callaloo on top of the fish, and I put some into the fish, and I put it under the fish as well, because me love callaloo. But today I'm just, because it's a very big fish, so I'm just gonna stuff it as best as I can with all that callaloo. Alright, so if you're a callaloo person like me, add as much callaloo on top, underneath, in the middle, everywhere. Alright guys, yes, so I'm going to allow my fish to sit for about 5 minutes, because I just rub the seasoning on there, so I want it to kind of soak into the fish. Even though fish have its own flavor, you can always just cook it straight away, but I'm just gonna give it 5 minutes and then I'm going to add my callaloo. Alright, so the amount of callaloo that I prepared can serve for like 2 big fish like this. So I didn't use all of my callaloo, I had leftovers, so I just added like on the side when I was eating the fish. Alright, because as I said, I love callaloo. So after applying the callaloo or adding the callaloo, you want to stuff it as best as you can into the fish, and then we're going to seal the fish with the foil. Alright, so as I said before, preheat your oven, and then after preheating and the oven becomes hot, we're going to place our fish in there. Alright, so you don't want to put your fish into the oven without any baking container, because guess what guys, the fish, even though you seal it, the fish still gonna release some of the liquid, and you don't want any to, you know, to mess up your stove. Alright, so I added a baking dish, now put it in the oven. So thank you so much for watching, and remember, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and also share with others, tell them about my recipes. Thank you so much for watching. Stay blessed and go and big up on yourself straight. Now you can have this with anything. You can have it with some festival, some bami, you know, anything that you want to have it with.